I've only ever been to this event one time before, and I actually got chosen as a judge my first time. And I'm sitting on the step with my heart in my throat, counting out, and I realized that that's the feeling of karma, hopefully not coming back to attack me for being a jerky judge the first time I was here. Anyways, my story is about grief. And grief, depending on how you look at it, can either be very good company or very bad company. Just survey of the audience. Have any of you ever experienced major grief, major loss? Raise your hand if you think you have. Not shrinking your favorite sweater in the dryer, that doesn't count as major loss, even though I have cried over that. But, okay, so this past summer, last summer, my mother died. Pretty tragically, pretty suddenly. And I'm saying this because the story, I hope, can be a warning label to the fact that being sad does not give people license to go out of their freaking mind and act, like my grandmother likes to say, like a goddamn fool. So, this year was a very interesting year. And I worked as an elementary school teacher, which I considered quitting day one of my job this year. Actually, no, even before that. I was in Nicaragua. I spent August in Nicaragua with a friend, and I had decided one day when I was in 5th grade that I was going to learn how to surf, and my friend was going down there. I'm like, yes, bucket list, I'm going to learn how to surf. Like, woo! Live every day as if your last, like people die, I just learned that, okay, cool. So I go down there and I call my brother, I'm like, can I stay in Nicaragua and learn to surf? I'm like, no, Alexis, like, that might look like you losing your mind. You have to come back, you have to learn, you have to go back to your job as a teacher. I'm like, okay. So I'm teaching 3rd grade, and there's a lot of picture books that we read. Anybody know the picture book by P.D. Eastman that's called Are You My Mother? Where it's like this little bird who gets lost from the nest and goes around everywhere and thinks like a bulldozer is his mother, it's not his mother, and thinks like a tree is his mother, it's not his mother, and thinks like nowhere is his mother. Well, I kind of felt like this year was a little bit of like me looking for my mother everywhere. And that took on a few different forms. One, I bought a 2002 Land Rover, which apparently I'm the only one who got the memo that this is the worst car on the road. Even my same grandmother, my 83-year-old grandmother, just told me, good luck. Okay, Land Rover, impulse purchase, not my mother. I also considered getting some tattoos. It came to me, and I've had some piercings, but I haven't had tattoos. It came to me that I wanted to get this like gorgeous sort of like filigree kind of like hip scarf around my things, and then in homage to my name, which is Alexis, and my brother's, I was going to get a giant Old English A tattooed on this thigh. And then I was trying to decide between, for the sake of symmetry or not, should I get like another A here, or should I get my initial, my last name initial, which is like an M, so it'd be like A, M. Well, are you my mother? Not my mother. Not my mother. Anyways, the major form that this took on was looking for my partner in life. Now, I've always been kind of a bleeding heart romantic, but I really have been looking for somebody to make a family with, make a life. Like, I feel grown up now. I've gone through this passage. And so, I've been looking for a good man to date who maybe I can marry. Are you my mother? Semi-famous singer-songwriter that I spent too many late evenings with when I had to get up and teach 8-year-olds. Not my mother. I consulted a psychic. Not my mother. And he told me a lot of things about my life, but he warned me that maybe somebody would be coming into my life, and like, maybe I should keep my, oh God, only a minute. Oh, good God, I'm not even getting to the good part. Well, anyways, the point of the story is my friend got her keys unlocked, and I was looking for a possibly Jewish, possibly Israeli man who was going to be my soulmate. Well, out midnight of the car steps this swagger chin-strap man with whatever to unlock my friend's car. I thought they came in tow trucks. They don't come in tow trucks. Anyways, he steps out. I'm like, well, hey. And we have been talking, this was May, by the way, like looking for my mother like all year long, looking for my soulmate all year long. He comes out, And he unlocks it. He like jimmies my car, the car open. And we were really into silly bands. I don't know if anybody loves silly bands as much as I do. Maybe you didn't teach third grade. I got an octopus right here. My friend had locked her keys in her car earlier that day. It happened twice in one day in May. She called me. She's like, "You'll never guess." Got it. "You'll never guess. The guy had silly bands on." And I was like, "No way! The guy who unlocked her keys in her car had silly bands?" And so here comes the second guy. He's like unlocking the car, and I'm thinking, well, is this my guys? Like, is this my soulmate? Anyways, he's got this bracelet on, and it's not a silly band, but it's like one of those like bands that there's a cause for everything on these bands. They're like making them an Argyle now because they've run out of colors. And there's one, and it's pink. And we're like, "Oh, what does your bracelet say?" He goes, "I heart boobies." I still think he might be my soulmate, like I haven't ruled it out. And he's like, "My 11-year-old brother gave it to me. It's for breast cancer." And I'm like, "Oh my god, this must be fate because my mom died of breast cancer." So I'm like, "Oh my god." Anyways, fast forward, he's got a medallion on. His medallion is a Jewish star. I'm like, I've been looking for a Jewish man. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, this could be him. Turns out his name. Oh yeah, the point of the tattoo, I was like, well, maybe my soulmate, maybe his name is going to start with an M. His name, Moses. Clearly, my soulmate. Anyways, fast forward to the conversation. I go to bed that night. Fast forward, he actually texted me. He thought it was my friend because he had my phone number, long story, which I'm already way over, thank you very much. Really good story though, bad company, don't do this when you go through grief. He texted me, and he's like, "Oh, yo, I'm not really supposed to do this, it's unprofessional, but any chance Alexis has got a boyfriend?" Thinking it's my friend Rachel who locked the keys in the car. And I went to bed that night actually hoping that Moses would get in contact with me, but my phone was out of charge, so when I woke up in the morning and I went home, Moses had texted me. I was like, "Yes! Oh my god, he texted me!" So, you know, like gold chain, whatever. And so I smoked weed that day. It's something else I got into this year, even though I don't normally do it, like whatever, trying to pass the time, like whatever. Weed makes me absolutely crazy. In the course of that day, I like massaged myself with cocoa butter, tried to read a book about God's astronomers, thought I was destined to be a singer-songwriter, like all in 3 hours. Meanwhile, Moses is texting me. I'm like, yes, he's my soulmate. Long story short. Hey, I'll think that's funny. Okay, long story short, I get on the phone, and he's nothing but a perfect gentleman over text. Get on the phone with him, find out Moses is not Israeli, he's actually Russian. Okay. He's 20 years old, which means we can't go get a drink after I tell him that I'm kind of trying to not drink and I don't want to meet at a bar. He's only 20 years old. Oh, maybe in the running. He seems kind of old for his age. He's recently incarcerated. Still not ruling him out because I know plenty of good folks who've been incarcerated. I'm like, all right, I can roll with that. Yes, I can roll with that. I'm not going to judge him. There is something here. He's Jewish. His name is Moses. And what was the third? Oh, boobies. The boobies. I'm like, yeah, obviously I was supposed to meet him. So anyways, he's like, yeah, well, I kept going back up to Brooklyn. Find out, I put this all together. He's 20 years old, he's from Brooklyn, he's Russian. Obviously Russian mafia. Dude's 17 years old when he's incarcerated, which means he's the muscle. I can't imagine the blood that has been spilled from this man's hands. I am still willing to spend time with him, because he might be my soulmate. So, anyways, he's got an ankle bracelet, because he kept going back up to Brooklyn. And so they finally decided to like lock him into Philadelphia with this ankle bracelet. And he doesn't get it off till the middle of July. And so then he asked me, he's like, do you want... Alright. Anyways, that's when you know you're sad, is when hanging out with somebody who's 20 years old with an ankle bracelet seems like good company to keep.